So essentially, AI is like in everything, and I assume you saw, Amelia, that ChatGPT brought out Pulse, which is going to be more proactive than reactive. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I just asked you before I push the record button, what your experience is of AI in tools, specifically calendar, tasks, project, note, I guess, tools, but then also auto scheduling. For those
Yeah.
listening, they probably know we use Morgan. Morgan has AI Planner, but the AI bit isn't connected to OpenAI or Gemini, it's something else. Uh, and then there are other tools that are auto scheduling. And I want to have a chat about AI and agents with relation to ecological psychology, but we will get there.
Oh, good, juicy, fun. I've been in AI world. Yes, let's go.
We will get there, but I want to discuss
Aw.
the AI and auto scheduling stuff in tools first to understand what it is.
So I've been using Dia, which is the new browser from the browser company. I had access to it. So this is probably very relevant because Dia is an AI app. It's got like literally AI built into the chat. It's kind of like Bing
Edge.
in Edge. It is literally Bing AI, but using ChatGPT and stuff. Um, which I've used it. It's been pretty good. Like having conversations with papers has been interesting. Do I believe everything they say? No. Do I fact check everything? Yes, because if you don't, then you're fucked. Um, but yeah, it's useful on a day-to-day basis. I use it every single day. But is it like
Is
my
it revolutionary? No, I don't think so.
no, it's
Not
just
yet.
another tool. Like it's a tool that allows me to do the things that I want. I've built agents that are related to specific tiny small things that it helps me work through. And I've taught and ran a workshop on NA10 that I use to build tools that interact with AI. I built one the other day, which was basically where you can text an AI from your phone because if I'm on my phone all the time, I want to be able to communicate with the AI and I don't like the apps. Then I can do that. And it's completely custom and tailored.
Yeah. So the for the landscape, for those that aren't interested or in the AI world of integrating with tools, and I guess disclaimer here, I work for Morgan, so obviously I'm going to be mildly biased towards Morgan and have used them for like 3+ years now, which is crazy. Um, but there are applications when it comes to tasks, such as Todoist have their, I think it's called Ramble feature, where you can talk at it and it will create tasks and subtasks and a project of things. I'm like, okay, that's cool. The way I see that is the buttons you would push on the keyboard put into voice. So it's natural language processing, but via voice. That's the way I see that integration. And I mean, it's been in a lot of places. I think TickTick had a record button on the mobile anyway to add a task, and obviously all the voice assistants do that anyway when you're talking to Google or your Siris or whatever. Um, so that's what some tools that I've seen do. Then there are other tools that take a much more controlling approach, such as Motion, Reclaim. I mean, Reclaim's a little less than Motion, but it's still auto scheduling. If you have a space where you have specified, you say, okay, between this time and this time on the day, do these types of tasks, and that task has got this priority, this due date, this minimum and maximum time. Yes, I'll allow you to split it. So you set up all of these things, then it will auto schedule it. Motion's the same, but you've got to add all that information in, which, I mean, if it doesn't have the information, it can't work out when it's most important. I understand that. And then it auto schedules those tasks. If something changes, it then moves it around. And if you thought you were going to do that task after lunch, actually, you're doing something else now because it's just moved it. And those sorts of tools, again, you could class the first one as AI. I mean, I think it's smart. natural language processing, but people call it AI. Then the auto scheduling, again, people call it AI. And that I think is more AI, but
Yeah.
still very predictive. It's almost like a flow chart. Like if
Yes.
it's high priority and is due soon, it will probably be very soon that it is suggested to go there. So yes, it's AI, but it's not like full-on AI. And then we have the agents, which Motion have brought in, calendar app Motion, then Notion wiki app, project task, try to do everything, email calendar app, Notion. Um, they've brought in agents, and yeah, yeah,
So accurate.
I don't know how to describe Notion anymore because they try and do everything, but they don't really do anything. That's my personal opinion. And I've tried using the agents, and I feel like they are less controlling, but they're kind of like this is going to sound insulting. They're kind of like a beginner in Notion. They're like you ask it to do something, and it goes, "Hey, here's templates. Here's some stuff that other people might want to have used," and just sort of create tons of stuff in your Notion according to the guidelines and rules that you've given it, the constraints you've given it. Which again makes sense. But I think it's more AI than the auto scheduling and more AI than the natural language processing. But it's not quite what I would see as fully AI integrated.
Yeah.
Is there anything there where you're like, nah, I disagree?
Um, I think agents aren't as far off what, like, the natural language processing, I would not even say is really AI because it's been there before AI, like the prevalence of these large language models. Like, because that's what we're talking about here. Like specifically, it's the large language models. It's the big stupid stuff
It's,
that
it's
we have.
what people see as AI at the moment.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
not because AI existed before LLMs, but
Yes,
everyone talks
but
about AI as if they were ChatGPT or Gemini LLMs.
yeah. I also find agents fairly
Hmm.
like like
I guess
I
I guess
found
disclaimer here or clarification here. Morgan's recurrence rule says AI assist. I don't think it's actually well, it could be classed as AI, but I would class it more as natural language processing because you say
yeah, same.
every day Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then it will make that every day Monday,
Yeah,
Wednesday, Friday. I see that as NLP, not AI.
yeah, agreed. It's
Yeah,
part of it, but it's so small that it's not really thinking in the same way that
yeah.
other
You,
tools are.
and then you were going through that, and then agents. You were saying they're not quite
I think people overestimate how good agents are, and you've got two camps. You've got ones that are like, AI sucks, agents suck, they're all crap, blah 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 blah. And then you've got the other side of the dichotomy of like, these things are revolutionary, they're going to change how you work and they're going to do all these things. And I'm like, no, they're no more revolutionary than every other tool that we have at our disposal. The thing that AI does, and I feel is where it's most valuable, it is tailored, specified advice based on the constraints that you give it. I find recently that I'm using Dia more than Claude and ChatGPT because Dia has my browsing history.
mm,
So Dia knows what I've been doing, plus it knows, and I've actually used Dia in combination with Claude, and that's been interesting because I've got Claude on my actual tab and Dia on the other side, and I've been bouncing between the two. And so the more that AI has access to our stuff, the more it's more integrated into our stuff, the more value it could become. But it's not,
privacy, obviously.
yeah, privacy, of course, but also it's still just going to be a tool like everything else and still break like everything else.
Yes. This is where I find it overlaps with ecological psychology
Oh yeah.
because I don't think anyone would class NLP, natural language processing, as a conscious organism or being or thinking computer.
Mm.
Then we move towards the auto scheduling. Is it thinking? Well, it's doing calculations because it's working out what is the highest priority and then working out where there is a space and putting it in. Is that thinking? Well, not so sure. I would argue no. Then you move into agents, where you've got a little bit more and they're using more data, more memories. Well, now are they thinking? Or are they
Yeah.
or are they
Well,
just yeah?
well, they are things. So this is how I've been approaching AI has been very fun. Because I'm basically using the traditional cognitive models in how I think about AI because it does input, process, output. That is literally how it's designed. So the way I treat it is in the traditional way. And it's quite entertaining when I'm having long form conversations about like EcoD and the whole it's like that's really interesting. I've never seen it like that. Have you thought about it this way? Have you thought about it that way? Have you thought about it? I'm like, oh, bless you, process input output. You can't, can you? And I've actually had conversations with Claude, particularly, like, how does it feel to not be able to do that? And the responses are hilarious and fun and interesting,
Yeah.
and they're like, well, maybe I can, because there has been some research that's been done about trying to use the like perceptive based like learning and that in and with AI, which has been fascinating.
Yes. I because of the assumptions made, loan of intelligence,
Yeah.
I don't think that it would be possible for AI to have an ecologically driven intelligence.
No, it can't.
Because it's not an organism.
No.
It can't heal itself. It
Mm-mm.
can't adjust itself in the same way an organism
Yeah.
can.
Yeah.
So it always requires a loan of intelligence, lots
Mm.
of adjustments, and even the various experiences I've had, even when you try and constrain it, like highly constrain it, to get it to give you an answer that you're looking for, it's extremely difficult because it doesn't understand or grasp
It
what
doesn't,
the
it doesn't,
meanings of the words are.
no, it doesn't think, it doesn't know, it doesn't like, it doesn't care, which is,
It
I think,
has
is
data.
it's data. It's data driven. Input, process, output. It's a bunch of binary. It is literally what everyone, or what the traditional approach assumes we work like. It is literally that, which I think is quite cool. Like, as
It,
a,
nice to see the differences.
yeah, like you can really see the differences in how they respond to stimulus or the user message.
Mm. I mean, I know a lot of LLMs have constraints on them anyway. So if most people to use them, there's constraints for safety reasons, privacy reasons, and then the responses. Most responses, as we've discussed previously, they're not negative. And if you say they're wrong, they go, "Oh yeah, sorry about that. Here's the right answer." You're like, "Why don't you just get it right in the first place?" Um, I mean, yes, someone would say, "Well, humans get it wrong." Yes, but they normally don't get it wrong knowing the right answer. If the LLM knew the right answer and still gave you the wrong answer, why? Like, it doesn't make sense. Um,
And I think it's really, you have to be careful to remember that AI is not human. There's so much personification of our AIs, like, because they sound human, but they're not.
they are
They are
machines.
literally just machines that are designed to emulate humans. Once we understand that, that's where you can kind of use AI to your advantage, but it doesn't care.
Which brings me back to the integration of tools.
Mm,
If we look at forgetting the notes, because I think thinking machines with inside of notes, that's how I'm describing AI, thinking machines, because it's easier than AI, because AI is such a broad two-letter term. So the thinking machines that we have are still programmatic. They're still deterministic in the way that they execute a command of something. And putting them into tools, as sort of alluded to at the start, there are tiers, there are stages of the amount of thinking that it can do. Where we're currently at with the new version of ChatGPT, I'm not entirely sure because I haven't used Pulse because it came out yesterday, and obviously I've been busy. But I still don't think it is enough to put it into a tool and for it to understand what it is that you're trying to do. It will require, I think, a lot of prompting, a lot of constraints, and probably many, many, many agents to constrain what they're trying to do, which is why there are agents in Motion and Notion, because they need to constrain this all-knowing being, data set, uh, with what it's going to do.
yeah,
And that's pre-programming. That's not what an organism is. An organism can recognize that it has all this information, but at this current time, the context means we only need to do these sorts of things. But it can dip in and out when it wants because it understands the meaning of the context. It understands the affordances. Whereas a thinking machine doesn't. A thinking machine doesn't perceive affordances through action or motion. One, it's not moving, it's a data set. Uh, and two, I would argue a machine doesn't perceive, it
it doesn't.
calculates.
Yeah.
And so, what is the use to answer the question? Like, what do I see the use of AI, of thinking machines, speeding up data processing?
Yeah.
How is that going to work? I think speeding up data processing means there being settings, there being preferences, there being data that you can interact with in an easier way, right?
And also in a way that is tailored to your own like needs and
Yes.
your own desire, which I think it's taking very nat neutral data, like data that is just data, zeros and ones that doesn't have any context, and using it with a thinking machine. I like that. A thinking machine that understands what you're looking for, which means it pulls it out.
So here's my I don't know. I don't know whether it's a hot take or not. Um, but I think thinking machines, if we go backwards in time with computers, you had to first put in like the file path, right? And you had to know where all the files were. 'Cause you had to type in the folder file, right? Then we had a UI change, and we could double click on a folder. That was pretty impressive. Then we had another UI change, where you could type something out into your computer and it just find it. Search. I think the thinking machines are a UI change. I think they changed the way users interface, the users could interact with the data.
Yeah, yes. They're
But
just
that's
UI.
it. But that's it.
They are just fancy UI with a few more little bells and whistles that make it easier. It's just search, but
It's a smart search.
yeah, which it always has been. It always has been just a smart search. That doesn't mean it's not good. Doesn't mean it's not useful. Doesn't mean it's not valuable. Does not mean it does not afford so many possibilities, but it is just a smart search.
I
That
would I would add on to smart search when integrated with tools.
Yes.
Because when
Yes.
integrated with tools appropriately, it then gets given tools, i.e., the thinking machine has
Yeah.
the abilities, the capabilities to act. I say that word loosely. It can do things in the code that it's
Yeah.
been given access to. So it can change the data that it's been given access to, which
Hmm.
is what it's doing anyway, which allows the search to act on requests.
Yeah.
So it makes it easier for the user to find things and to do things in a tool,
Mm.
but and potentially give suggestions of what it could do. But I think those suggestions are dumb suggestions. They don't consider everything an organism can consider,
No, they don't.
unless the organism gives the dumb thinking machine all the information. The dumb thinking machine can calculate the same response as the organism. But the
Yes.
organism doesn't need to do those calculations. It can work it out. It can perceive, it can act without all of that data explicitly said with what to do with the data pre-programmed. The thinking machines have memories in inverted commas. They have pre-programmed prompts and scripts and tools that they can and can't do with constraints where it says if a task is high priority, make it more than medium priority. If a task has a due date coming in soon, put that before the due date that's coming in after. And then whatever deterministic rules after that. If I, as a person, look at my calendar and go, you know what? I can't be bothered to do that thing right now, then I'm not going to do it. But unless I tell the thinking machine that I can't be bothered to do that right now, it's not going to do it. But it doesn't mean that it still won't suggest it. If I say, I don't want to do it right now, it might suggest it in an hour, or in 2 hours, or 4 hours. So you have to say, I don't want to do that right now, for today. And so it'll put it tomorrow. But you already have an idea as an organism that you probably won't want to do it tomorrow either. But unless you tell the thinking machine, it's still going to throw it to tomorrow.
Yeah.
You can feel some of my pain interacting with some of these tools recently. Um,
No, not at all. There's no pain there. There's just joy.
and having experienced some frustrating prompting with certain tools that I shall not name, you ask it to do something and it throws it where you kind of asked it to do it, but it didn't make any logical sense because it didn't take the time into consideration, such as, hey, can you reschedule my task from yesterday to today? Sure. Let's put it at 9 o'clock in the morning, even though it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon right now. Uh, I mean, yeah, you rescheduled it from yesterday to today, but I can't do it because it's still in the past. Yeah,
Dumb.
and exactly. And then you have the response that doesn't match the action. So again, said tool, mm, I guess you could say two tools that I was exploring. Well, yeah, probably well, two tools and one that I'm learning about. Uh, they say, I've done that for you, and then you look at the tool and they haven't done that for you. And then you say, you haven't done that, and they go, oh yeah, sorry, do you want me to do that? Yeah, that's what I said in the first place. And we experience this in LLMs when you're talking with them, and as we alluded to earlier. But in an action-based tool where you just want to interact with it, say a Google or a Gemini or whatever, and you say, hey, what's the weather? And then it tells you the weather for yesterday. You're like, isn't that yesterday's weather? Oh yeah, sorry, do you want today's weather? Well, of course I do. Duh. And and unless these dumb thinking tools have been prompted enough and the user has given enough information for them to do all of that, they're going to give dumb suggestions, which is what organisms, humans don't want. And that's
But
where
then
I,
they don't want to also, because that's the thing I find is that people are like, oh, the AI is so dumb. Yeah, I know, because you haven't taught it anything. It doesn't understand what you understand. It can't. Oh, but it talks to me like a human. I'm like, yeah, but it's not one. It does not care. It is not interested in how you feel. It is interested in completing a task and usually as efficiently and as quickly as possible, whilst not having any of the context of what you actually need. When you give it the context, yes, but you, as the organism, have to tell the tool what you want,
Yep.
which a lot of the time can take a bit longer or a lot longer, especially if it doesn't fucking understand it, which it
So,
won't.
so here's my question to you. As a user of AI tools, the
Yeah.
dumb thinking machines, and a user of multiple other applications,
Yeah.
what would you want to see with dumb thinking tools or AI tools inside of things like Notion, Motion, Morgan, and
I
well,
don't need it.
so with Raycast, because I know you use Raycast to
Yeah.
enter tasks, would you want anything in there to help you add anything, or would you want to just manually add in those settings?
Maybe. Yeah, it would be good to have an AI telling me where it goes. Yeah, probably would. That would be nice, but it's
So
also
if I'm just thinking, if you were to say, I mean, you could either use voice or text, whichever. Um, Type something into Raycast or Todoist or Google Tasks or whatever, and say, I need to pick the kids up from school tomorrow.
mm,
Because it has access to information, it would be able to put a task on your list or on your calendar before the school pickup time because it already knows.
yeah.
Would that, because that's still deterministic, because it already has the data of when you pick the kids up from school, where the school is, so it could give you like travel time, distance for
Yeah, that's good.
duration.
I like that. Yeah,
So,
data entry is so much easier. I like that. That's why I built the Raycast app that I've got now
mm.
because it's just quicker because I'm
But
always
would it know? I say no in inverted commas there. Would Raycast know when school pickup is, or would you have to put the day and time in?
I'd have to put the day and time in right now, but if there was a way for Morgan AI to do that already, that's cool.
Clever assumption.
But
Yes.
I'm using my own desire and like if I could just speak at it and go, oh yeah, I need to pick up, I need to do this thing. Oh, I've got D&D next week, and it will know, or it will even just go, hey, is this the D&D Tuesday or D&D Thursday? D&D Tuesday or D&D Friday? Is it this one or is it that one? And if it would just go and ask me that, I'm like, oh yeah, it's Tuesday. Oh cool, I've set that for like 7 o'clock till 10 o'clock Tuesday evening. Cool.
Yeah.
Let me know if you need to schedule the Friday one as well. I've noticed you've got quite a lot on this week. Do you want to reschedule something like stuff like that? That in itself is like, hey, you've got quite a lot on this week. Do you want to reschedule some things? Like that's the active part that I would find interesting. Like, hey, you've got this.
How would it work that out? Because obviously it still needs the data just like everything else.
Yeah, so it would look at the calendar and if there was lots of back-to-back meetings, if there was a threshold of how many meetings I want to have in a day, it will then go, hey, think about this and
So would you
that.
say that is a user preference, user memory?
User memory. I really do like, so I quite like how Deer is using user like preferences. So it understands a little bit about me. It understands that like I'm an ecological coach that helps neurodiverse people. So when I was looking at something personal for me, it was they're like, let's look at this from an affordance basis. And I'm like, bless you. But it did
You
use
tried.
that. It did use that. I was like, that's interesting that you did that. I'm going to turn off personalization so I get the thing that I actually want from you for now. But that's really cool.
So would you want to be able to edit those memories?
Yes.
I assume you'd want to be able to see the memories.
Yeah, see and edit the memories and control the output of how I would like to set you. I think the most powerful thing about AI is the fact that it can be customizable to each individual user, which means let me edit the preferences. That is my one criticism of the AI planner in Morgan, because it still doesn't know quite enough yet, which I'm guessing is by design because it needs to be constrained and stuff. But
What do you mean by can't control? As in the Morgan priority factor?
Mm.
Right. Well, that's the same with motion,
Oh, it's the same
reclaim,
with everything.
Santana.
Like
Yeah.
I want to be able to go and like have a user preferences in I an MCP is beautiful right now. Like mo model context protocol is something that is needed because being able to connect with multiple apps at the same time is really useful. Like I like the interconnectivity of it. There's still lots of issues with that, but that's really helpful to be able to connect with different tools and understand different things and different pieces, and that's useful. Having the customizability is what I like with AI. That I think is its biggest power is to be able to customize it for your own needs and your own affordances. Like literally, this is the thing I want to do because of this thing, and this is the way that I like to work, and so I want this to work this way.
So do you reckon then a dumb thinking machine, AI integration with a calendar app, whether it's Google Calendar, Morgan, Outlook, any other calendar app or task app, do you think it is input processing output, obviously, because it's still a machine? Input could be text or voice, right?
Yeah.
What would you
Mhm.
use actually, out of curiosity, voice or text?
I change between them, so I want both.
Yeah, yeah, agreed. Then the processing part would be something saved to settings or adjusted in settings,
Yeah.
whether that whether that be a slider or a drop down box because there's just a couple of
So
options.
I would. This is probably I'm the wrong person to ask about this because I'm the one who's a nerdy, geeky geek who wants to customize everything to
Power
a.
user.
I'm a power user, so I'm probably not the right person to ask. But I would like to be able to add user preferences, like write my user preferences and have kind of. I would almost want to like a simple mode and then an advanced mode. So you would have the simple mode for most people, and then an advanced mode for people who want to prompt the engine itself and go, hey, I like this being here. If you see that this isn't done by this time, double check that it's not done because sometimes I forget to tick tasks off. And
Mhm.
so it may reschedule it the very next day. I'm like, yeah, I've actually done that.
So instead of just a long block of text, which is what most prompts are, would you want it as like separated memory? So you can say, uh, well, just add in a quick memory, be like, oh yeah, blah blah blah. Make sure this happens, this happens, this happens. Whether it's
Yeah,
by typing it out or voicing it out, maybe through a conversation, it sort of just picks up that memory. It's like, oh, you said that thing. I'm going to save that as a memory.
yeah. Yes, that would be really good. Yeah.
Okay, and then the settings that are currently in said tool, whatever it is, you can then change it with voice and text.
Yeah, that would be really good.
Yeah. Okay. So there's the processing thing, and then with the actions, I assume you'd want it to be able to do everything.
Yeah,
So here's a question then. What if, I know this probably won't be your case, but I imagine there will be some people. What if you get really, really drunk and you're out with your friends, and then you tell your calendar app, "Hey Google, shut up, my phone's just gone off. Uh, hey application, can you just delete my day?" And then it does. Or can you just unschedule my meetings for next week? I can't be bothered. And then it does.
yeah, that's probably not a good idea. They probably need
How
confirmation.
would you guardrail against that?
With great difficulty.
Or someone else does it.
Yeah,
Obviously, they can do it with your calendar, but if they have, if you've got voice on your phone and your friends are out and you're, and they go, "Hey, can you just delete, like, can you delete Danny's meetings next week just to be annoying?" I mean, yes, they could go in there, go on someone's phone and do that anyway. Go through, delete, delete, delete. Take far longer. If there's an assistant in the background that can do it, you could once they've gone to the loo, just like, "Hey, delete all Danny's events for next week," and put the phone back down. And then in the background, the assistant just whoop gone. I know you're laughing, but it's a serious issue.
yeah, that's true. Probably not allow deletion without a confirmate like a physical confirmation. So there needs to be some form of like,
Confirmation, yes, I agree. But again, if it says, "Are you sure you want to do that?" Yes. If it's text out, confirm or deny, push confirm, done. Then what?
I have no clue. Get better friends.
Well, yeah, I think again that would be a case of you would need to control your devices that have this much power. It's similar with all the hacking stuff that goes on at the moment, where you've got people and they share the screen, and then so and so can get in the backside and click and do whatever. But because the user interface, going back to what we were saying earlier, because the user interface has become quicker and easier, it's become quicker and easier to do things that the original user doesn't necessarily want. And with the dumb thinking machines, AI, as an upgrade to UI, user interface, makes it even easier for nefarious, nasty assholes to do shit.
Yeah, and then you've got prompt injection too,
Yeah,
which is terrifying.
yeah,
That is a thing you got to consider.
yeah. Is there anything else? So, from the sounds of my description, is there anything else that you would add to I guess we could say an AI UI? And
No, I think everything I've said is pretty much covers everything I'd want. And also at the same time, I can already build it myself. So I may not be the right like
I'd be interested to see what it comes out, what comes out like. Because I assume you haven't built it for a reason.
yeah, just I've got what I need right now.
Okay. Yeah, because I like I say, I see loads of tools adding in AI to like
I just
everything.
think it's adding it in not because it's useful, but because it's popular
Uh-huh.
and they can charge more.
So I guess what are the main use cases that you have? Actually, I'll share a couple of mine. So for me, um, I'll use Morgan because I'm in Morgan, of course. For me, sometimes when I'm clicking and dragging tasks, it can be a pain because I've got a lot in there.
Yeah.
Bulk editing makes life a lot easier. It's one of the reasons I use Morgan over Google. Uh, but still, sometimes there are some nuances that I think just asking a dumb agent to do because it's got the data to do it would be
Yeah.
nice. Something that I think would be nice is with, for example, Morgan's got travel time, Reclaim's got travel time, Motion's got travel time that is considered. Like there's loads of tools that have travel time, but it's not smart. So
Mm-mm.
it's a determined like 30-minute event whenever there's a location, which if you're driving for an hour, it's too short. Sometimes you can't actually see it on the calendar. There's just a task like with 30-minute gap. You're like, why is there a gap there? Oh, I've got a location. Right, okay, didn't know that. And then other times it's from a specific destination, but it doesn't track that destination. What I think AI UI could bring in is the understanding that, oh, I'm at this place and then I need to go to that place. So the travel time in the middle shouldn't be from place one to original destination, then from original destination to place two. It should be place one to place two.
Yeah.
And that travel time doesn't necessarily have to be connected to place one, place two, because if it's only half an hour and there's an hour gap, you could leave 15 minutes either side for maybe place one time to last over 15, or you turn up to place two a little earlier. I
Yeah.
would I would say that as a AI UI feature.
Yeah.
Buffer time, similar sorts of nuances. Then with, I mean, we've got frames inside of Morgan, but you've got schedules in Motion, you've got hours in Reclaim. I think being able to interact with those easier, again, AI UI would be nice. So say,
Yeah.
hey, I can't be asked to work for whoever. Like for me, obviously I work for Morgan. So you know what? I don't want to work for Morgan this week. Can you just make it 1 hour slots? And all of my frames go to 1 hour. And then it sort of asks, hey, do you want to do more research in that time? Or do you want to do more trampoline work? Or do you want to sort of just chill out? And it do it. Or I could say something like,
Yeah, that was what I was thinking. Like the ability to customize the bits a bit more and just yeah, it's the simple, dumb, boring stuff that it could do really super easy.
it's the monotonous things of changing the preferences and the settings, and it's
Yeah.
making those bits easier. That's
Mm,
where I see AI UI becoming really useful.
yeah.
What do you think of the term AI UI? Came up with it as we were talking.
I do like AI. Mm.
The AI.
AI.
Yeah,
I think it's accurate though.
because I
I
don't
think
think AI chat is is accurate to what it does. Oh, I mean, it technically is because you just chat with it. It doesn't do anything. Um, it can do, but it takes a lot of time.
yeah.
And if I ask it to do something, hey, what's on my day? I don't want it to have a conversation with me. Oh, well, you've got some important tasks here, and you've got some overdue tasks there, and you've got these events here. I'm like, shut up. Like, I'm gonna have preferences, and you're probably gonna have different preferences. Some people might want a big list, and they might want a big essay in the morning while they're drinking their coffee or having their breakfast. They want a 15 bullet point list, or they want a 3 page essay summarizing their day or their week or whatever. I just want them to say, hey. You got you got stand up at this time. You got trampoline in the afternoon or in the evening, and it's a regular day. It's your normal day. You're gonna do these things. Done. Cool. Thanks. Oh, I can't be bothered to do that meeting today, or I can't make stand up today, or oh, can you make sure I get this research done? Oh, okay, but you don't have any time for that. What do you want me to do? Do you want to make this one shorter, or do you just want to unschedule these things? Oh,
Yeah.
unschedule the things. Cool, thanks. But that's what the reschedule prompt does in Morgan sort of at the moment, where it says ASAP or reschedule AI planner, but it would have a smarter suggestions because you could
Yeah.
shorten time, increase time, similar like to the
It's
reclaim
still
habits.
easier. It's still easier for me to just reschedule it myself. So I
Mm.
always use with AI Planner at the moment. I just do it that way. But to be able to have more flexible frames and be able to adapt the frames, and that would be really cool. Like that right there would be a real fundamental shift and would work so well. Like, can I have that now, please?
No. So I guess as a follow-up question then, when we think about frames and hours and schedules and ideal plans and time-blocked things on calendars and all the various ways that it's done, which I know you use Morgan, but which one would you prefer uh, between them all? Obviously, Morgan's got frame filters. Motion has work hours. No. But Reclaim has work hours, personal hours, and then custom hours, which are you assign, this is for everyone else, you assign a task to hours, and then the task is scheduled in those hours. So if you say work hours are from 9 till 5, you make a task and then you say, okay, this task is for work, and it will put it in work hours. This task is for personal, we'll put it in personal hours. If you want to make custom hours, you can do. So say Morgan work or trampoline work or deaf community, and then you put the task in the hour slot. So it's done, you have to do the assigning the task side. Motion, you have work hours. So it will schedule tasks in work hours and auto schedule them. I couldn't find when I was exploring recently a custom hours slot. So you couldn't be more specific with the hours that are available. The schedule, sorry, the schedule that's available. There probably is somewhere, but I couldn't find it. Then Morgan is frames first. So you add a task, but depending on which list it goes in, Morgan knows where to suggest the task. So you don't have to do anything task side, it's assigned frame side. But that burden is then up front rather than later.
I'd rather have the burden up front. I just think Morgan's implementation of it now. I being able to talk through the day and then it suggest frames to me would be cool. Like that, if there was an additional way of doing something like that from an AI UI perspective of like having the ability to upfront go, yeah, so this is what I like doing every day. This is kind of my rough buckets of time that I have, and this is what I kind of do. Um, can you make some frames for me?
Mm.
And then it walk through that process because then that I think would be reducing the burden.
Would you want to see the frames like now, or would you want them in the background, not visible?
I'd like to have the option to see them
I'm the same. Yeah.
because AI is still not good enough to be fully trusted.
Yeah. Yeah. Agreed. Agreed. When it comes to the just talk at it and change the frames, I didn't think that's the route you were going to go down. I was thinking you get to lunchtime and you're like, hey, I really can't be asked to do this tech work right now. Can we do some different work?
Oh yeah, that too. That I just presumed that would be available. Yes, that would be yes, that.
You're like, you know what? I can't be asked to work inside of Notion for another 3 hours today. Can we just not do Notion work? And then it goes, hey, yeah, you've got these other tasks that you could do that are tech related.
That'd be so cool. Yeah.
It'd need to know
Or things like I am really freaking exhausted right now. I need to get some work done, but I need it to be low energy, really quick and easy to do. Put some stuff in there.
yeah,
Oh,
what low energy stuff can I do because I can't be asked right now?
yeah, that'd be so cool. That'd solve so many problems.
So how would
Like
it
when
work
you
out what low energy tasks are? Would you see that as another property in a task? Would you see that?
possibly, possibly, yeah, I think it would need to be a property. Like everything would need to be a property because that is data. So it'd be a property that can be assigned or is pre-assigned based on my preferences. So, for example, I'm thinking like in the preferences tab, it's like my low energy type of tasks are list a number of low energy type tasks like connecting integrations is high energy, medium energy, low energy, like and then being able to dynamically shift that around by say, hey, I'm having a really I've done way too much of this type of task at the moment. Please, can you like move those and switch out because more they're today I'm feeling these are more high energy tasks because I just don't want to do them and I don't have much capacity left. So can you rearrange that and put that in here and put that in there? Like that would be really cool.
Do you think those would be, going back to what we were talking about earlier, do you think those would be like settings in the app that is changed, like low energy, high energy, medium energy, and then insert thing, or would that be a memory of the agents tool thing that you as a user add in because because some people might not want the energy stuff.
I think probably it would be better. I think the more stuff's in memory, the more flexible it is.
And how would, because I can imagine there being quite a lot of memories. Would you want it like because you mentioned you wanted to see them, would you want like a massive long list of memories? Because I'm just imagining like a huge scroll wheel after like 3 years of using the thing.
That's true.
There's I would imagine there'd need to be an expiration on some memories.
Yeah. Maybe it's just a document. So I'm thinking like in Windsurf, Claude creates like a markdown document with all the rules and stuff, and you can just read through it that way. So it's a super simple doc because that's what most AI read from is like because CSVs do not work for AI very often, often just a markdown file. So I
Yep.
think something like that being able to access it's not immediately available, but it's something you can get to and open if you're a power user. Because I could imagine myself going in and then wanting to edit them and then like customizing my own. So like that would be really cool.
So you mentioned a like a simple version and a difficult, like an advanced mode, like an advanced tab at the bottom.
Mm.
So I'm just trying to imagine what this would look like in a settings menu. Would
I think it'd
like,
be something like AI preferences because
well,
it
yeah,
would
but
take all
what
that.
memories would show and what memories would be in this big dock?
I think all the memories would be in the big dock.
Just all of them.
Mm.
Okay. And then if someone wanted to check the memories, they'd just go to the big
Or they
dock or
go, what were the last four memories that I added? And then it would be able to tell you.
yeah, yes, yeah, that makes sense. That makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah.
Okay. It's just interesting exploring this because there are so many different ways. Because I think you've seen inside of Notion, you can add a Notion doc as memories.
Mm.
Is that how you imagine it being in any tool or
I think having it be a document is really powerful because then you can use that. Like with my tools that I've built, I always allow an export
right? Yeah,
because it makes sense for it to be exported and usable in multiple different places.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything else you'd add? Because obviously, when we started the conversation, you're like, yeah, no, don't really need agents. And it's one of those things where you don't need it, and then when you hear about it, you think, oh, maybe you could do this, and oh, maybe you could do that. Is there anything that
I
you're
can't
like,
think of, yeah, I mean, yeah. There's always new things that could be added, but I think just having what we've spoken about today is enough. Yeah,
I
I
mean,
really like
it's
those.
enough. It's still quite a lot of stuff. It's like, hey, can you just like do everything for me? I just tell you stuff and you do it. Yeah, that's great. You get it right first time as well.
Yeah, obviously, get it right first time. You don't have to get it wrong. No, thank
Hmm.
you. Get it wrong.
So, would you class that more as an ecological organism or still a dumb thinking machine just with more data?
So I've done thinking machine with more data.
There's an AI UI.
Yeah, I have.
AI.
I
Can we abbreviate that? AI. I mean, UI AI is harder to say than AI UI. Yeah.
AI.
Huh?
AI GUI.
Yeah.
They're just more fun. But no, AI UI. I think that's probably why everyone just calls it AI.
Yeah. Yeah. AI interface.
Mm,
Right. Yeah.
AI UI.
We just spoke about tech for quite a bit. Is there anything else you
Wow.
want to discuss?
We did tech today.
We did Tech Day today.
Let's not ruin it. Let's just keep this as a tech one.
Well, yeah. No, I was just asking. Anything else in tech you want to discuss? Right. Might close it out there then.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah. Right. Thanks everyone for listening to our rambles. Not Todoist. Yeah. Speak to you soon. Bye.
Bye.